Good morning to everyone. Welcome to physics class. So in previous class we learned about principle of superposition, Huygens wave principle, proof of reflection, laws of reflection and laws of refraction using Huygens principle. So the laws of reflection. Laws of reflection, the first point is, what is it? Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Second one, incident light, normal, reflected light all are lying in the same plane. These two are known as the laws of reflection. Next, laws of refraction. Laws of refraction. So here there are two laws. First one, Snell's law. According to Snell's law, sin I by sin R is equal to constant. It is also equal to mu2 by mu1. In terms of velocities, it is equal to v1 by v2, where mu1 is equal to refractive index of the medium. Refractive index of the medium, first medium. Mu2 is equal to refractive index of the second medium. V1 is equal to velocity of the light in the first medium. V2 is equal to velocity of the light in the second medium. So this is the first law of refraction. Second law is incident light ray, normal and refracted light ray all are lying in the same plane. This is called second law of refraction. Next one, Huygens principle. According to Huygens principle, it is defined that S is a pointwise source and this is the wavefront, primary wavefront which is emitted from the source. Each and every point on the primary wavefront act as the source of secondary waves. These secondary wavelets travel in forward direction always. This is Huygens principle. According to this, each and every particle on the primary wavefront act as the source of secondary wavelets. These secondary wavelets move in forward direction always with the velocity of light. Okay, na? Right. So next again, Huygens principle, laws of proof of laws of reflection as well as refraction, they are also verified in the previous video or previous class. So in that situation, proof of laws of refraction, అందులో cos I by cos R is equal to, where I equal to angle of incidence and R equal to angle of refraction. Cos I by cos R is equal to width of incident beam by width of refracted beam. Width of refracted beam is width of incident beam. Therefore, cos I by cos R is equal to width of incident beam by width of refracted beam. It is also proved in proof of laws of refraction. Here I is equal to angle of incidence, R is equal to angle of refraction, R equal to angle of refraction. Also, you know, there is one condition for refraction. It is also remembered that sin I by sin R is equal to mu2 by mu1. It is also equal to v1 by v2. So these two formulas are very, very, very important while solving the problems. Next one, in the same video or in the last class, We'll derive the formula for principle of superposition or explain the concept of principle of superposition. According to principle of superposition, let two waves and they are represented by y1 is equal to a1 sin omega t minus kx. Second one, y2 is equal to a2 into sin omega t plus kx. Omega t plus kx, sorry, minus kx plus phi, where phi is equal to phase difference between these two waves. Let these two waves are moving along the same direction and superimposed together. According to principle of superposition, the displacement of the resultant wave y is equal to y1 plus y2. Y equal to y1 plus y2. Final equation, y is equal to some capital A dash into లేదా capital R into sin of omega t plus theta, where capital R is equal, this is the capital R is equal to amplitude of the resultant wave. Amplitude of the resultant wave, this can be proved as R square is equal to a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos phi. Again, intensity is proportional to amplitude square, means I is proportional to R square, I1 is proportional to a1 square, I2 proportional to a2 square. So that's why I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 root I2 into cos phi. This is the formula for intensity of the resulting wave. Again here, to get the maximum intensity or maximum amplitude, these two maximum or minimum values, they will depend only on cos phi function or the phase difference between two waves. Suppose if the phase difference between two waves phi is equal to 0, it implies cos phi is equal to 1. Therefore, a resultant amplitude will be maximum and this should be equal to R maximum is equal to a1 plus a2 whole square. Maximum intensity I maximum is equal to root I1 plus root I2 whole square. Phi is equal to 180, means pi radians. Amplitude will be minimum, that is equal to, this can be proved as a1 minus a2 whole square, and minimum intensity is equal to root I1 minus root I2 whole square. Now in this case, the ratio between maximum intensity to minimum intensity I maximum by I minimum is equal to root I1 plus root I2 whole square by root I1 minus root I2 whole square. So the same I maximum to I minimum, that will be written in terms of amplitudes also, and this is equal to a1 plus a2 whole square by a1 minus a2 whole square. Next again, fringe visibility. Fringe visibility, this can be defined as the I maximum minus I minimum by I maximum plus I minimum. That is equal to 2 root I1 root I2 by I1 plus I2. This is called as the fringe visibility. So up to this, we will derive the formulas, all these formulas in the previous video. Next one, let us explain what are meant by coherent light sources and what are meant by coherent light waves, and also interference of light waves. Interference is nothing but the principle of superposition of two waves only. So in this situation, what are coherent sources, coherent light sources and coherent light waves? For example, any two light sources, suppose this is S1. S1 is the point-wise light source, S2 is also point-wise light source. This light source emits the waves in forward direction. It will also emit the lights in forward direction, light waves. Now the displacement equation of any wave can be represented by y can be represented as y is equal to a sin omega t minus kx. Y1 is equal to a1 sin omega t minus kx. For the second one, y2 is equal to a2 sin omega t minus kx plus 5. Sin omega t minus kx plus 5. So clearly observe these two equations. Y1 and Y2 are the particle displacements. Both are having same omega, means omega constant, and omega constant means omega is equal to 2 pi f. That means frequency of the two waves is also same. K is also constant. K is equal to 2 pi by lambda. K is also constant means lambda remaining constant. Again we know that velocity of the wave v is equal to n lambda. As the two waves are traveling in the same medium, its velocity remains constant. Velocity v is equal to f lambda. V constant, and also in this situation f is also constant. That's why lambda is also constant. Lambda constant means k constant. Okay na? Lambda remains constant also. Here lambda is equal to constant. Phi is equal to phase difference between two waves. So clearly observe this. These two light rays having same frequency, same wavelength, and also maintain a constant phase difference always, or zero phase difference, whatever it may be. Let these two waves are said to be coherent waves, and the sources producing the coherent light waves are also known as the coherent light sources. So coherent light sources means the two waves having same frequency and also same wavelength, and these two are maintains a constant phase difference. Omega is also constant or omega 0. So that's why what is the definition for coherent light waves? If any two light waves having same frequency and wavelength and also maintain a constant phase difference or zero phase difference, then the two waves are said to be coherent light waves, and the two sources are also known as the coherent light sources. Right? Suppose here, let us one example. Any two individual light sources, suppose this is a source of light S1, it is a source of light S2. These two individual light sources cannot be act as the coherent light sources. Why? Because the first one produces a light of wavelength lambda 1, second one produces a light of wavelength lambda 2. So that's why these two sources cannot be act as the coherent. Okavela, let both the sources S1 and S2 emits the monochromatic lights. Monochromatic means it emits single color or single wavelength. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ any two waves which emits monochromatic lights, these two are also said to be point wave sources. Suppose it is an yellow light, it will produce an yellow light. It is also producing yellow light, means both are having same wavelength. Maybe both are having same frequency, but phase difference between these two light rays cannot be constant, which will be differ from point to point. That's why two individual monochromatic light sources cannot act as the coherent light sources always. Then how do you produce the coherent light sources? Say simply, this is a cardboard, just like a cardboard. Here there are two pinholes made on the cardboard side by side, and these two pinholes are made illuminated by the same monochromatic source. S is a monochromatic light source. This will emit the light in forward directions or all directions. Monochromatic. Therefore, the wavefronts coming from S, they are moving like this. That's why this is a wavefront produced from the monochromatic light. According to Huygens theory, each and every point on the wavefront act as the source of secondary wavelets. You know, wavefront means it is a locus which is joining all the points at same phase. That means phase difference between any two points is equal to 0. Here S1 is one pinhole, S2 is the another pinhole made on the cardboard. Therefore, from S1 also the light rays are moving like this. From S2 also ila move avta untayi. These two light waves are moving along the same direction and superimposed together. They produce alternately bright and dark bands on the screen. Let the screen is kept at some distance far away from the two slits S1 and S2. So కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ S1 and S2, these are the 2 points on the same wavefront. According to Huygens theory, each and every point on the wavefront act as a source of secondary wavelets. That's why this source will be produce the light in this direction. S2 is the source of light, another source of light which will produce the wavefronts like this. Initially, the phase difference between the light rays coming from S1 S2 is equivalent to 0 initially, because S1 and S2 both are lying on the same wavefront, right? So దీని నుంచి S1 నుంచి light from S1 and light from S2 both will derive from the same monochromatic source, means lambda remains constant for both. Wavelength lambda remaining constant. Same source means it will emit a single colored light, monochromatic source. Single colored light wavelength constant, frequency is also constant. Also, phase difference is equal to 0. That's why S1 and S2, these two are act as the sources, or which are also called as the coherent sources of light. Coherent sources of light. Right, see here, coherent light waves. If any two light waves having same frequency, wavelength and maintains a 0 or constant phase difference, then the two waves are said to be coherent light waves, and the sources which emits the coherent light waves are known as the coherent light sources. Again, here there is one note point. It is not necessary to have same amplitude for both the waves for observing the interference phenomena. Any two individual light sources cannot act as the coherent light sources, but two pinholes made on cardboard side by side and are illuminated by the monochromatic light, then the two pinholes acts as a coherent light sources. Now, what is meant by interference? See clearly, interference means superposition. If any two coherent light waves traveling along the same direction and superimposed together, alternately bright and dark bands are formed on the screen. This phenomenon is known as the interference of light. This interference of light is of two types. First one is constructive interference and second one is destructive interference. Similarly, this interference of light, this can be experimentally proved by the scientist Youngs by using a double slit experiment. That's why it is called as the Young's double slit experiment, YDSE, Young's double slit experiment for interference of light waves. Young's double slit experiment. So, to prove the Young's double slit experiment, this is a diagram. It is a cardboard. S1 and S2 are the two pinholes made on the cardboard. Two pinholes. Also here S is a monochromatic pointwise source. This will emit the light rays along this direction. All these light rays having same wavelength. So this is a wavefront which is incident on S1 and S2. Here this is the vertical cardboard, vertical cardboard like a plank. It's a plank, like vertical plank. On this plank there are two pinholes. There are two small holes. And these two are made side by side approximately. S1 and S2 are the two pinholes. So from S1 the light will be emitted. From S2 also light will be emitted. These two light rays are superimposed together to produce bright bands or dark bands on the screen. Bright bands or dark bands on the screen. It is the screen kept at some distance from the sources S1 and S2. So, what is meant by constructive interference and also destructive interference? Constructive. Let wave is traveling along this direction. One wave is traveling along this direction. Second wave is also traveling in the same direction like this. Second wave. These two waves are moving along the same medium and superimposed together. Maybe if the crest of one wave is superimposed with the crest of the another wave. Crest of one wave superimposed with the crest of another wave. At that point, resultant amplitude of the wave will be maximum. This is the amplitude A1, this is the amplitude A2. Crest will be superimposed on crest, means at that point amplitude of the resulting wave is maximum. Amplitude maximum means amplitude of resultant wave is maximum means intensity is also maximum. Intensity maximum undi ante compulsory at that point there is a bright region or bright band formed on the screen. Suppose if the crest of one wave is superimposed with the trough of the another wave, let A1 is the amplitude of the first wave and A2 is the amplitude of the second wave. Maybe if A1 equal to 10 centimeters and A2 is equal to 8 centimeters. At that moment, resultant amplitude will be minimum or 0. If A1 is equal to A2, resultant amplitude minimum will be 0. A1 is not equal to A2 means resultant amplitude will becomes a minimum which is equal to 2. So the resultant amplitude will be minimum like